Everyone, I'm John, your host on Mgtow is Freedom. I've never, ever done a video like this. This is incredibly important. It is earth-shaking, especially for us guys in the world of Mgtow. And I'm serious about what I'm reading. This is not a joke. This is not a prank, right? You want answers. As a man, as to what is going on with women, I think that the bona fide, certified medical research data is demonstrating there is another factor that no one else has taken into consideration because it hasn't been understood until now. And frankly, this is scaring women. And frankly, it should scare you as a man. It should bother you. Some of you may become, seriously, I'm serious, some of you may become physically nauseous. Some of you may become traumatized by what I'm about to tell you. Because you may see in your experience in life why the information I'm going to give you is relevant and how it has affected your life. Okay, this is new information, came out just a few days ago. All right. And I'm going to start with an article. I printed it off. I printed it on 9/15/2017. So September 15th, 2017. The story was covered by Disclosed TV. And I'm going to put in the description down below links to all of these sites so you can go look for yourself. Okay, basically the story goes like this. Be careful who you sleep with. Or women absorb and retain DNA from every man they have had sex with. All right. A group of scientists, reports Disclosed TV, has found out that a minority of women have Y chromosome gene sequences in their blood. The reason that's important is women don't have Y chromosomes. Only men do. So what are women doing with male DNA in their bloodstream? Now, there's a lot of speculation, but the speculation can be limited. What I mean by that is they can get to the root of this. And they can do it by disqualifying certain people in this study. And they did that. Sex transfers DNA of partners. The study needed to be commissioned to understand if women without sons, meaning if they had a son during pregnancy, maybe his DNA mixed with hers. So they eliminated that part out of this study. Women who did not have sons, right? So there's no internal male living with them that they could have got the Y chromosomes from, right? So they eliminate that. These women without sons could still be expected to carry Y chromosomes in their blood. The study in question was conducted by immunologists at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center, who took samples from 120 women who had never given birth to sons and found out that out of these women, 21% had male DNA. Right? And at first, you're thinking, so what? They got male DNA. Right? That's where we really have to start looking and thinking about what this means. How it affects the way we think of women as men. Right? The conclusion was drawn from this study is that from intercourse alone, there is potential for women to hold on to male DNA from their sexual partners from their entire life, regardless of having more or fewer children. Now, they've already demonstrated in insects and other animals that the female, right, like the female housefly, retains male housefly DNA the entire existence of its life. It holds on to it and continues to use it. Apparently, according to these studies and reports, it looks like human females do something similar. So this is yournewswire.com. They reported women absorb and retain DNA from every man they have had sex with. Right? The study, which discovered the startling information by accident, was originally trying to determine if women who have been pregnant with a son might be more predisposed to certain neurological diseases. That's how they started this study. But as scientists picked apart the female brain, meaning these are cadavers, they did brain studies on dead women, the study began to veer wildly off course. Right? The study found that female brains often harbor male microchimerism. In other words, the presence of male, masculine DNA that originated from another individual and are genetically distinct from the cells that make up the rest of the woman. They found these male genes in their brains. Right? According to the study, 63% of the females tested harbored male microchimerism in the brain. Male microchimerism was present in multiple brain regions. Okay? 63% of them. So what they did was they isolated the ones in the study and the results that never had a male son, and that's where they came up with the other percentage, the lower one, which was 21%. Okay, but they started out and went, wow, look at all this male DNA. And so they had to excuse or eliminate those women who had male sons and ended up with an overall number of 21%. Right? Anyone care to guess where this DNA came from? Your father's DNA combines with your mother's, so it's not there. Okay, when they autopsied the brains of women who had never been pregnant, let alone with a male child, they still found male DNA cells prevalent in the human brain, the female brain. Right? Scientists were confused, right? So what are people afraid of, right? Conclusions. Male, and this is quote from the study, male microchimerism was not infrequent in women without sons, right? Male microchimerism was significantly more frequent and levels were higher in women with induced abortion than women with other pregnancy histories. Further studies are needed to determine specific origins of male microchimerism in women. Now, the word chimera, right? It's an ancient Greek, and it was a creature that has more than one type of DNA, like the griffin is a lion and a bird. You know, that's a chimera, right? It's an animal with mixed DNA. Okay, it's very important for us as men to understand what may be going on here. Right? Sperm is alive. It is living cells. When it is injected into you, right? Let's say into a woman, not you, it swims and swims until it crashes headlong into something else, right? Other cells. And then it attaches itself and burrows into flesh. We're talking about an egg, right? A female egg. The sperm's job is to swim, crash, lodge itself, dig its way through, and inject its DNA. That's how eggs are fertilized. Right? So what happens if it goes into a woman's mouth? Right? It gets in her sinuses or nasal cavities or ears. Is that how it burrows its way into her bloodstream and then into her brain? Right? Is either anal or vaginal intercourse? Is that how it burrows into the woman's body? Right? It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. Right? We're now only beginning, according to this, it's just a news agency, to understand what is going on with women. Now, before I get into my wild hyperbole and conjecture, here's the medical studies. Now, many women are very irate and frustrated and upset by this. And they claim that these aren't real studies, that things are being taken out of context. Well, excuse me, ladies, we got a problem with you out here in the real world. So let's start with number one, right? Journals.plos.org, right? This study, and it's pretty heavy. It feels like a good 8 pages of really small freaking print. Male microchimerism in the human female brain. Funding. This work was supported by the National Institutes of Health. It was supported by the Canadian Institutes of Health Research Fellowship Award. The funders had no role in study design, data, decision to publish, or preparation of the manuscript. Competing interests, meaning does someone have an axe to grind? Conclusion, the authors have declared that no competing interests exist. Right? You can go through this and you can get all the information out of it. I'm going to put the website for this. Boring, but it makes the point. This is the ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. The NCBI is the National Center for Biotechnology Information, right? National Institutes of Health, NIH.gov, that would be your American government. Male microchimerism in women without sons, quantitative assessment and correlation with pregnancy history results. Male microchimerism was found in 21% of women overall. You can read that little gem. Now, on to the Mgtow portion of this. We as men are having problems with women, the way they think. We now have evidence that 21% of women, after ruling out other causes of how they got male DNA in their blood and in their brains, and who knows where else in their bodies, because this is brand new information. This study, right? This study was released. Where's the study? September 26, 2012. Okay, that's when it happened. But it's just now getting out. It's just now finding its way to us. Right? Where was my dates? That 9/15, that's right. It's just now getting to us.